Oh my god, mates, we have so much new information for Paragon, it's bloody insane. Starting off with the new Vision game, leading to a secret Kallari buff, and also how the car point system is going to get deleted, and then something else will replace that system, and we're going to be talking about how that system could work, and most likely work when it does come into Paragon, followed up by the version 42 card update, and one of the cards that's part of the 100 card update, and we're going to talk about what that card effect is and what that card actually is. It's been pretty fun alongside the last topic, which are new affinities, pretty much having changes and some interesting parts about it. So we're going to talk about that as well, all in this video. Welcome mates, I'm Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy, and today we're back on Paragon once again. It is a wonderful day and I can't believe this happened overnight, and there's a lot of information that got released by Epic Games and the Paragon team on the Paragon Community Corner episode on YouTube, and some of you mates have been telling me to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it within this video. So those are the topics that we mentioned at the very start, and there should be some gameplay of Wraith in the background, so hopefully you mates are enjoying that as we discuss these topics. But before we get this video, make sure you smash that bloody like button. Let's try to get 250 likes on this video, mates. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. One more thing before we get into this video. If you haven't noticed yet, if you're going to your game Paragon and go to the community tab of Paragon, you'll be able to see one of the videos there, pretty much your icon, and talk about the latest guide on Wraith. And that was so cool how Paragon and Epic Games team put that there. And followed by all your mates' support on these videos. They mean so much to me. And especially some of you mates have noticed that community spotlight on one of our videos. You guys were congratulating me in the comment section. So that was pretty cool too. I don't know why, but hey, I'm happy about that. Thanks for your support, mates. It means truly so much to me. So let's keep that going with this video. So the family mates, we're going to get back on track with this video, and that is obviously the topics that we're going to discuss. Let's start off with the car point system that you have in-game currently will be deleted. And some of you mates now are panicking because you have no clue why Epic Games and the Paragon team is doing this. But there's a really good reason behind this. Because majority of the time when people make builds and decks, it can be kind of confusing to use those builds and decks in-game. Because when you're killing a minion or certain objective, you're getting a certain amount of XP, which comes up as 200 CP or 200 points, but it's not an official card point for you to use in the store. So it gets kind of confusing there, especially for new players. It's like a massive learning curve to get used to and pretty much prepare yourself every game for that type of thing happening in your gameplay. But right now, I feel like if they did change this, it could lead to a very good system. And that's just making the system like all other MOBAs. You get a certain piece of economy currency, could be money, could be cash, could be anything that can transfer into the system or the shop straight away. So you get 100 points of that when you kill a minion, you're able to use that 100 points in the shop in order to get a card that's worth 100 points. Something like that is going to happen, so I expect that to be happening due to the fact that they want to make the uncapped money/economy system within Paragon, because once you reach 60 card points, there's pretty much no purpose in farming or doing anything with team objectives that will give you a economy boost like Raptors that reward you CP once you've slain them. That objective comes very useless towards the end game stages once you've reached that 60 card point maximum in the current state of Paragon. So within the coming days or weeks or months, we don't know, there's going to be another system implemented into Paragon's experience due to the fact that it will make more sense that you have an uncapped card point system or uncapped economy system within Paragon. So once you reach that so-called late game, you can still farm and gain a massive lead on your opponents, because right now, once you reach that maximum of 60 CP, you're just waiting for the enemy team to catch up, and pretty much becomes like a fair 50-50 fight, and it just becomes luck. That's kind of annoying. With the new system that will be implemented, once you're ahead, you can be ahead for a long time depending on how many plays you do and how good those plays are, and how many people you kill in trade-off with objectives, and just little micro plays can build up to something amazing with the new system, because once you're ahead, that enemy team have to play really strictly but also smart in the decisions they do in order to catch up. Either way, it's going to make matches more difficult. In general, once you're in a game, and once those little plays start happening in the early game, those can really carry on and snowball into the late game stages and keep that lead forever, unless you guys are able to play really smart against the enemy team that's snowballing you. And I honestly think this is a great system, and obviously builds and decks will still be in the game. If somehow those elements of Paragon disappear, that's going to be kind of really awkward, but I honestly think these are main features of Paragon and they will never disappear at all, so don't worry about your builds and decks disappearing from the game, because that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. And now let's move on to the next topic, which is pretty much the Vision game, the wards that we use on a daily basis with every build we have in Paragon. All players are using wards, and that's become a problem, especially when you verse a Kallari or Wraith. They can't really do too much because there's wards everywhere on the map, and it's making their life hard. But Epic Games and the Paragon team have got the Kallari mains and Wraith mains backs with this new system, and they're going to reduce the wards. They're going to try to make fewer of the wards in-game, just the actual cards itself, so there's going to be less of options of which card you want to pick, but also make them more impactful in the way they work. And another thing, make them a less of occurrence, because I'm guessing the trade-off you're going to have when getting one of these cards or one of these warding items in the next update or so, it could actually affect the game quite a bit. You could lose damage or lose health, but then at the same time you're gaining a crazy amount of vision. So there's a little trade-off there over the active and the effect of the card itself through its stats. You have to choose which one you really want. Do you want vision, or do you want a card that provides you better stats overall to do more damage in game, or pretty much a certain stat that you wanted on your character? But Epic Games of the Paragon team making wards more balanced, in my opinion, will lead to a secret Kallari buff and Wraith buff overall. Their win rates will go flying through the roof indeed, mates, because their kits are amazing. They make sense. They do a lot for what they are. But everything around them at this current moment is pretty much a toxic wasteland. They can't do anything because of that. But in the next update, whenever this is implemented, it will make them amazing. Everything around them changes, but they're pretty much already set for those changes. So they're able to use those things to their advantage and pretty much make them really strong in-game. Players will start to see the worth in people going invisible, in entering the shadow plane, and also within Wraith's vision, because only people will be carrying wards. Wraith's vision will be key in majority of situations if you want to gain intel on the enemy team, making him the master surveillance character indeed. So pretty much if you do have a lot of knowledge on Wraith and Kallari like myself, I love Kallari, she's one of my mains. If you've got any knowledge on them, you'll be able to use them really darn well in the next update or so when these changes are available. So now let's move on to the next topic, and that is pretty much one of the 100 cards that will be available in version 42 update, which looks like it will be released early August. That's the date we pretty much think it will be out, because everything is leading up to that date, or that pretty much time period. And also that card that we're going to mention, the one of the 100 cards, is called Veil Stepper, and this does have a very interesting card effect, which is enter a shadow plane for 3 seconds after passing through a fog wall. Jungle Delight, or Jungler's Delight. That was pretty much stated in the Paragon Community Corner video, and that is insane. Imagine any gank that you will do in any lane. There's a fog wall. 3 seconds of the enemy team not being able to see you at all, and then you can jump them and delete them. I don't know if there's a cooldown on this actual effect, because right now it seems like it doesn't, and that's kind of really OP in my opinion. But I'm guessing there will be a cooldown effect on this passive ability, or passive card effect on Veil Stepper. That is one of the 100 cards, and every card that will be added in version 42, or pretty much renamed or reworked, will have a new card effect, and that is insane. So the combinations and effects and the stats and everything that will be happening in version 42 is going to be bloody insane, mates. So watch out, especially watch out for this card, because this is only the first card within the version 42 card update that we know of. And mates, in Paragon at this current state, there's always been an emphasis on building power and killing enemies as quick as possible, because that's a pretty cool factor within any game, to be honest. But Paragon, where everyone just builds power, and it's just insane. And it seems like, by the way they stated it, that you won't feel like building damage all the time. So I'm guessing there's going to be some type of other option that's really appealing to any player, which will provide a certain effect in your gameplay, and overall just win matches like that, depending on your playstyle and how you fit with that card or item that you're using, or stat that you're trying to upgrade. So that's pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what that is, and what other options we have instead of just building purely power, crit, and just damage overall. And now let's move on to the next topic, which is pretty much like new affinities, aka renamed affinities. They've changed the affinity names because they're trying to make it fit with the lore of Paragon, which is kind of cool, because I never knew the affinity lore would be something that really does exist, but it does. So that's so cool. The first one being intellect will now be known as knowledge. Corruption, which is the second affinity, will now be known as death. The third affinity and the final affinity that has been renamed is fury to chaos. Now, those are pretty cool. Obviously, it won't affect the gameplay as much, but when it comes to the story and the lore of Paragon, it might change a bit and make more sense with the whole thing. Obviously, we don't know too much about it. We've been breaking it down on the channel here and there, as much information as we get from skins, from heroes, from every bit of information the Epic Games and the Paragon team does provide us with. We obviously have talked about it on the channel, and I can't wait to see what's next. So that is all the information that I wanted to discuss within this video, but if we do gain any more details about version 42 update, and also pretty much Paragon news in general, expect it here, mates, because I'm going to try and cover that as much as possible, because obviously I'm interested in that, and I want the mates to be up to date when when it comes to new information. So once they see it in game, they already know it was going to be in game, and they're pretty much set for it and prepared. But mates, as always, tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below about this video and the topics that we discussed. What part of the game are you most interested about and you want to see more of as they get into it and pretty much develop it, the system, like how they're developing the map in graphics, followed up by the card system and all that? What was the most important aspect towards you? Tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below, because obviously it'd be great to read what you guys are interested about. So mates, if you did enjoy this video, show us by smashing that below like button. Let's try to get 250 likes on this video, and if you makes want to see more Paragon gaming content and gaming content in general, or just content by me on my channel in general, all you have to do is share with your friends and hit the subscribe button to become a mate today. And that is all for this video. Over time to go, but don't you worry, we're back very soon. Hey Jazz boys, here's ain't seen nothing yet. Mates, I can't believe what is going on with Paragon. It gets better and better every time. And hopefully as that goes, you see my channel still appear on the community section of Paragon, because that'd be kinda cool.